Hello everyone, this is Diya. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to be reviewing a makeup palette and I'm also going to be creating a makeup look with it. So let's get started. So the palette that we're going to be reviewing today is this one right here. This is from Forever 52 and this is called the Gemstones collection 10 color eyeshadow palette. So this is what the packaging looks like and I'm just going to slide the palette out like this. Here is the palette. Let's open it up and see what the inside looks like. Here it is, and like it said, it has 10 shades and all of them are shimmer shades. Now there was a protective plastic sheet to protect the shades and there was also a plastic protection on the mirror, but they are not there right now. So when it comes to this palette, it is a bit on the pricier side, right? So there was a bit of a dilemma when I was deciding on whether to buy it or not buy it. I kept it in my cart for ages and I kept going back and forth between like, should I buy it, should I not buy it, should I buy it, because you know, I can be quite the cheapskate. So but then one day I decided, you know what, let's just do it, and I took the leap of faith and I bought the palette. Now that I have bought it, I thought that I should make a video on how this actually works and whether it is good or not for all the people out there like me who are unsure on whether this palette will be worth the money or not. So I hope that by the end of my review, you guys will have a little bit of less confusion and will be able to make a decision on whether to buy this palette or not. Now let's do the most basic test to understand whether a palette is good or not, which is by swatching the shades. So let me do the swatches for all these shades for you guys on my hand right here, and let's see how pigmented and how good these shades actually are. So let's get started with the very first shade, which is called Sun-Kissed. Here I'm taking it a bit on my finger, and the next shade is called Ruby. This color is more, I think it's more like a topper that you put, like you put an eyeshadow on your eyes and then you can sort of add like an extra shiny effect with this kind of a color. It's more like a topper, so it's more sheen, but still it's really pretty. So here are the swatches all done, and might I say that it was really satisfying to do the swatches for this because they went on so easily and so smoothly. Like all of the shades are just really creamy and I feel like they're going to be really easy to work with, especially if you use your fingers for most of the work. And all of these shades have such a beautiful metallic shine to it. I just love that. Now for the makeup look that I'm going to be creating today. So many people get very intimidated by seeing palettes like this because it's like really bright metallic shimmery shades, and you would expect that you can only create very glam and bold and bright makeup looks with this. So I thought that I should change it up a little bit and create an everyday, more subtle, soft look with this makeup palette, and I'm planning on using mostly shades like this one, Sunset, Ruby, maybe a little bit of Sun-Kissed, and maybe Tan. So these kind of like reddish brownish neutral shades, and create a soft glam glowy yet quite everyday makeup look. So now let me zoom in on the eyes and show you guys the eye look that I'm going to be creating. So in this video I'm mainly focusing on the eyeshadow palette review, so I'm just quickly going to fill in my eyebrows. And if you want to know in a more detailed way how I do my eyebrows, I have other makeup videos up on my channel related to that. You can check out. I will put the links up in the iCard, also down in the description box. So I am done with my eyebrows and I have used the Forever 52 eyebrow kit for this. I have used this brush to do my brows, which has an angled tip on one end and a spoolie on the other. Now I am going to carve out my eyebrows using a concealer, and for this I am using the NYB concealer in the shade Coffee Pretzel, and I am just going to clean up any mess that I might have made, which I probably have, while doing my eyebrows, and make my eyebrows more sharp and defined. And I'm using a stippling brush like this one to blend out that concealer. So as you can see, I have carved out this eyebrow, and you can tell a very obvious difference. This eyebrow looks very much defined and sharp. So let me do the other eye quickly and then I'll come back. Alright, so you might be wondering that how did we go this ahead in time. This eye is like having all these colors on it and everything. That is because I forgot to press record and I just did a lot of steps on this eye. You are not a YouTuber if you don't film a whole segment of the video and you forget to press record. Yeah, so that happened. So let me just show you what I did on this eye quickly on the other eye, because this eye look is really simple, so there are not really that many steps. Alright, so the very first thing that I'm gonna do is apply an orange corrector on the top of my lid, because if you notice, compared to the rest of my face, the area around my eyes is really dark. I have hyperpigmentation in these areas. So just to get a nice uniform base and get rid of all this pigmentation, I'm going to use this orange color right here. This is from the Forever 52 4-color concealer set, and use my fingers and apply it on the top of my lid and blend it out with my fingers as well. Now that my color corrector is on, I'm going to apply a concealer on top of this, and I'm just using the same concealer that I used to carve out my eyebrows, and I'm going to be pretty generous with this. Then again I'm going to use my fingers. Does anyone else feel like this? I feel like the fingers are the most efficient blending tools rather than any brush or any beauty blender, but that's just my opinion. You all feel like that too? If you do, comment down below. I'd be happy to know that I'm not alone who thinks that. Blending it out really well so that I don't have any crease or any line, and I have a really nice flat base on which I can apply my eyeshadow colors. Okay, so that is my eye all prepped. Now I'm not going to set this with powder because I want a sticky base on which the eyeshadow colors and the pigments will stick on really well. So that is why I'm going to apply my eyeshadows while the concealer is still wet. The palette that I'm reviewing today mostly has shimmer shades. Now you can obviously, like, after prepping your eyelids, you can go in with any shimmer and apply directly and call it a day. That can also be a look. But for today's makeup look, I am going to first apply some matte shades and then layer the shimmer shades on top to create sort of a gradient ombre look. So that is why I'm going to be using another palette from which I'm going to take the matte shades, which is this palette right over here. It's the SFR Makeup Peach palette. Now if you want a detailed review in this palette, do let me know in the comments. I will do that for you guys. I am going to be using this peachy color right here, and I am going to apply that all over my lid using a blending brush like this one. Since these eyeshadows that I'm applying are matte and powder based, they do the job of setting the concealer in place, so I don't have to use any extra like translucent powder or anything. And since I'm applying it directly on top of the wet concealer, so the color looks better, it pops more and it sticks really well to the lid. I am going to darken the crease area a little bit using a darker brown color like this one from this palette. I'm going to blend it really well with circular motions to make sure that there are no harsh lines and you get to see a smooth transition and a smooth gradient. Okay, so now that I have caught you guys up on whatever I have done on this eye, let's get to using the actual palette that we're going to be reviewing today, which is the Fun Shimmer Shades. So now I'm going to be applying the shade Sunset, which is this really pretty shade over here, on the center of my lid, and then I'm going to extend it outwards a little bit. And I prefer using creamy shimmers like this with my fingers. I have done a lot of like trial and error and seen that using a brush is really not that effective when it comes to applying shimmers, especially if they are this creamy, because with your fingers you can pick up a lot of product at once, and if you use a brush you just have to like layer it on and on and on. So using your fingers is faster, more efficient, and it's simpler. So I've taken a little bit on my finger and now I'm going to apply it on the center of my lid. I'm not dragging the product, just tapping it on gently to get the maximum payoff on my eyes. Lightly blending it. I'm going to use the brush later on to like blend out the colors better, but for now I'm just dabbing it on my eyes. Now I am going to be taking this shade called Ruby, which is like a darker red shade, and apply it on the outer corner of my eyes. And again I'm going to be using my fingers because that is most easiest for me. So I've applied the color and I know it looks a bit messy right now, so I'm going to blend it out with the fluffy blending brush. So this eye is done with the eyeshadow part, so I'm gonna do the other eye off camera. Both my eyes are done. Now I'm gonna apply some false lashes. I'm using the false lashes from NY Bay, and once I'm done with that, I'm going to be moving on to my face makeup. Now since this is an eyeshadow palette review, I'm gonna focus more on my eyes and quickly do the rest of my face. If you're curious to know how I do the rest of my face, you can watch the other makeup videos that I have up on my channel. They will be helpful for you. The very first step for my base makeup is to color correct my hyperpigmentation areas. I'm using an orange color corrector, the same one that I used on my lid before. I'm using a big fluffy stippling brush to really blend that in with my skin. The next step is to apply foundation, and here I'm using the Forever 52 Ultra Definition Liquid Foundation in the shade Chestnut. It's a pretty good match to my skin, and I'm using the brush again to blend it in really well with my skin, making sure there are no patches. To get rid of any unnecessary brush strokes, I'm going to be patting the product in my skin using a beauty blender. For concealer, I'm using the same NY Bay concealer that I used on my lid and applying it under my eyes, around my mouth, and using the stippling brush to really blend it out very nicely. After applying the foundation and concealer, my face is looking quite flat. So now it's time to add some definition to it. And that's why, firstly, I'm going to be highlighting the high points of my face. I'm dotting the product on first with my fingers, and I'm using the lightest shade from the 4-color concealer set of Forever 52, and then really blending it out with the beauty blender. I'm applying it on my cheekbones, on the tip of my nose, as well as along the bridge of my nose, applying some on my chin, as well as my T-zone. After highlighting, the next step is to contour, and this is a really important step to give that defined sculpted look. I am first drawing an outline of where I want to contour using the darkest shade from the 4-color concealer set of Forever 52 with my fingers, and then blending it out to get rid of any harsh lines. I'm going along my cheekbones and also my jawline. Since the contour and highlight were mostly cream based products, it is important to set them in place really well, and for this I'm using the Banana Compact Powder from Maybelline New York, and I am first setting it in with a big fluffy brush, and to get a more precise point, especially under my eyes, I'm using the smaller stippling brush. Now that I'm done with most of my base makeup, I'm going to be moving on to the under eye. Using a flat shader brush, I'm applying the peachy shade all over my lower lash line. I didn't do this step before doing my base makeup because then the concealer and foundation would have covered it up. Next up, darkening the lower lash line with this reddish terracotta shade. Dusting off the excess fallout. Lining the waterline with a white liner to really make the eyes pop and make them look bigger. Lastly is mascara on the lower lash line, and I am using this brand new mascara from Mars. This is what the wand looks like. And here is the finished eye look. Now I'm going to be doing my blush, and for that I'm using an orange colored blush and a fluffy brush to blend it in. Now if you know me for long enough, you know that this blush neither has a name nor a brand because I lost the original packaging. For the highlighter, I'm using the Mars Illuminati base, and yes, I'm aware that that is not an actual highlighter but a primer, but I like to use it because of its consistency and color. It gives that perfect dewy finish. The very last step of the look is to do the lips, and for this I actually had two options. The first is the lip crayon from Faces Canada in the shade Obsessed 15, which is a really intense terracotta brown color. The second option that I had was the lipstick from Mars Cosmetics in the shade Nude Flirt, which is a really beautiful subtle nude shade. So I decided to go with the more subtle nude shade from Mars Cosmetics, since our highlight of this makeup look are the eyes, so the main focus should be on them. And I did add a pop of color using the Faces Canada lip crayon by applying it on the center of my lip, and this is what it looks like. Now that I'm fully done with my makeup, I'm going to go off camera, quickly do my hair and add some accessories, wear an outfit that matches with this makeup look, and I'll be back to show you the full complete look and give you a complete review and my final thoughts about the palette. So I'm back, and this is the full finished complete look. What do you guys think? Fun fact, my mom actually made these earrings, are custom made to fit and to match this dress that I'm wearing right now. How awesome is that? Coming to my final thoughts about the palette, let me tell you, this palette was an absolute dream to work with because the colors are all very creamy, very blendable, and they have this beautiful metallic feel to them, and when you apply it on your eyes it gives this duochrome finish which is absolutely beautiful. And there are many shades in the palette that you can use all by themselves because they are so vibrant and bright, and there are also certain colors that you have to use as a topper, so on top of another eyeshadow color, and it will give you a really nice glowy effect. So it is a very versatile palette, I will say, because you can create glam looks with them and you can also create simple everyday looks like I did today. So definitely it's a bit expensive, I will not deny that, but if you are a makeup lover like me, I think you can invest in a good shimmer palette like this one, because if you purchase a shimmer palette which is less expensive, you might not get such high quality products, because then you might have to keep layering on the product, rubbing it on your eyes till you get an average decent color payoff. But with this you get an amazing result with just one simple sweep. So I would 100% recommend you check this out if you want a shimmer palette and if you want to add something like this to your collection. And I can highly assure you guys that you will not regret spending your money on this, because this is a very quality product and worth every penny you spend on this product. That's it for today's video, guys. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope now you can come to a decision on whether to purchase this palette or not. If you really did enjoy this video and also like the makeup look that I created today, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and let me know in the comments what are the makeup products you want me to review next, and you can also give me some suggestions on what are the makeup related videos you want to see from me. I would love to hear from you guys. Definitely share this video with makeup lovers, friends, family, anyone you think might find it helpful as well. And if you are not already, please consider subscribing to my channel for more such fun, entertaining as well as informative content, and do hit the notification bell so that you never miss out a new video from me. That is all I ask. I'll see you in the next video then. Bye!